hopefully proceeding on the transmission, putting this all together. I replaced these pins, just ground off the mush side a little bit, and I was able to tap them out with a punch and a socket around this end to let the pin go into the socket. I cross-drilled this shaft, which is common because this pin will break even though I do have the new hardened one here. And then I also have a hole drilled up through here in case it does break, so I can punch the stub back out. So new pins, cross-drilled, new locking pin, and then I put new bushings in here, and I went with the extra long ones that aren't necessarily supposed to be in both sides, but they fit, and so it's probably better. And then I have the new throwout bearing and collar, which initially was a little tight, so I filed this edge a little bit. It wasn't tight before I pressed the brass into the bearing, but it was just a little tight afterwards. So I just carefully filed. You could probably even see the little bit of shiny there. I carefully filed that down, and that seemed to fix it. It gets a little stuck back here, but that's just the grease getting the air seal, I think. So hopefully that's all going to... I got this new cross shaft, and I just was playing around, and it actually has a tapered hole now. So this locking bolt goes in that far from this side, but if I rotate it, turn it so you can see, this way it doesn't go in very far at all. So that hole is tapered like it should be to match the taper on the bolt, which was, as I understand it, the reason these broke. So maybe I didn't even have to cross drill it for an additional bolt, but it's not going to hurt anything to have it there. I couldn't stand it. I adjusted it one more time to get 450. So it's all buttoned up now. And so before, this wasn't, if I put it in overdrive, it wasn't dropping like it should. That because of the clog in the operating valve shaft. So got that fixed. Here's the pressure drop shifting into overdrive. I've checked that the solenoid works. This is not the original solenoid. I can tell from the pictures. It's on the original ones. There's like a breaker point you can clean and so on. This is all molded in, but it does seem to work. It only draws 1 amp, which is good. I think the original ones can draw a lot more during their initial pull-up. But so now I have to adjust this lever, and what I found online is you put the dial indicator in here, and then you want it to go 30 mils when the solenoid is activated. So if I just do it manually, I have to go like here, which is not a lot, but I'm going to attempt to keep the solenoid energized, hold this at 30 mils, and then tighten the clamp screw. Here's my 1/8 inch drill bit, just wedged in there with the solenoid energized. So you tighten down the jam nut, and I'm going to test it, and hopefully it works. Sure if you can see it, but you can tell it's an overdrive by the lighting. The first time I tried it, it didn't work because it wouldn't come out of overdrive. So I had to back that set screw down some. Then I gradually brought it up until it wouldn't come out of overdrive again, and then I took it down a couple turns. So the method of 1/8 inch didn't seem to work for me.